Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bill's Seadoo Midlife Crisis. I am, of course, Bill, and today I am starting the repaint my super faded and scratched up end cap pieces from my GTX and my super duper duper, I don't know how, we'll get a close-up on this, super scratched up whole back assembly off my GTX. So these are off my GTI. This is off my GTX. I have tried to make these look better without doing this, and you know, they did look a little better, but they still look kind of crappy. So I've looked into it and done a little YouTube research, as we do, and I am by no means a painting expert, but this is what I've come up with from my research, and it may or may not sorry about the noise in the background. It may or may not be the best way to do it, but I think it's from what I can tell, it's the way a lot of people do it. So I looked at some automotive painting plastic bumper pieces, and then there's not as many things about painting Jetski plastic. Most people just say don't worry about it, but I like to have the Jetski looking as good as possible. So what I'm going to do, and we'll see what happens, first I'm going to clean them with just a straight up simple green degreaser. Then I am going to sand them. I'm going to use my orbital sander to sand them with, I have these are 320 discs. I mean, it could be even up to 600, I think, but I had 320s, so I'm going to use those. Some people say to use just to scratch them up. They say just to use a Scotch-Brite pad, which you could do, but I've got so many scratches on these that I feel like I need to sand it out a bit, like things like this. But again, we'll do some close-ups while I'm doing that. Then I'm going to clean them again with the degreaser. Then I'm going to put, this is not Lysol. I should put a label. This is isopropyl alcohol. That's a 70-30 with water mix. Then when I'm ready, I'm going to paint them. So I guess what I'm going to do is, I don't know, I'm going to probably mount them on something like this so they sit off the table. No, I probably am going to have to flip them over. Either that or I'm going to have to hang them. So yeah, maybe I'll hang them. I don't know. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. This one, I think I can probably paint just on the table. But so what I've got is first, I've got from Dupli-Color, although this Bulldog is another brand. I've got adhesion promoter, which is basically a sticky primer, and that goes on first. I'm going to read the instructions, but we'll do that. That goes on first and dries quickly. Then I've got Krylon Fusion all-in-one, which I've used before. This is great paint for plastics. It goes on really fast. I've got this in satin black, so it's not matte, just a little bit of a sheen to it, but not much because these don't have much of a sheen to them. And that'll go on, a couple coats of that. And then I've got Dupli-Color. This is just acrylic enamel clear coat. So this is not amazing clear coat. It's probably one of the worst clear coats, but clear coat's really expensive. So I went with the cheap clear coat because I figure this is a bit of an experiment anyway, and I might have to do this again at some point. So I cheaped out and went for the $20 clear coat. So we'll see how that looks. And that'll be it. And then we'll put them back on and see how they look. So you can see now, we'll do some close-ups, but they're pretty rough. I think they're going to look a lot better, even if they're not perfect. And for all the YouTube and Facebook haters that say, you're an idiot, just go buy new ones. They're like 20 bucks each. Maybe in the US, these are like maybe 30 bucks each. And this piece here, I never even priced it out, but I'm going to guess this piece is over 100 bucks US. But when you convert that to Canadian, that makes these about 40, almost 50 bucks each. And it makes this probably 200 bucks. So this is like maybe 200 or 300 bucks, just these. And I think I'm going to do the nose cone on one of them as well. This paint cost me 68 bucks Canadian with tax. So it's a huge difference in price. So I'm going to give it a try and hopefully it'll work out. But you guys can follow along and see how it works out. Maybe you want to do it, or maybe I show you why you don't want to do it. Who knows? We'll see in the end. Here we go. Okay, step one, cleaning. Pretty straight ahead. I'm just going to give these a bit of spray over here. And, really you're just trying to get them as degreased as possible. Who knows what's on there. I've been sitting on the Jetski for not 15 years, but 10 years almost. Okay, so here we go. I've got my rotary, my 320, got my gloves, got my glasses on. Let's see how this, let's see how it works. Okay, so I'm working on my GTX, the big piece now, and here is the before shot. So as you can see, I think hopefully you can see, really torn up along here. So again, hard to get perfect, but I haven't done this side yet. This is the side I haven't done. This is the side I have done, and hopefully you can see that. There are some scratches like here. They're deep. They're too deep. I guess there's maybe something I could fill that with, but I'm not going that crazy. And these ones over here, I don't know how much you'll see them once primer and paint goes on. You probably will a little bit. The rest of it is just scratched up, and I'm going to continue to go by hand, you know, just over these spots like that, just to make sure that, you know, you take the gloss or whatever coating is on the outside of plastic. I watched one video where the fellow went into a lot of detail about plastics and sometimes the coating that's on the outside of them that you just have to basically knock off, otherwise the paint and the primer won't stick very well to it. So that's what I'm trying to do, but mainly on these corners I'm trying to smooth out all that craziness that looks like that. So I'm going to leave the camera running for a minute, and I'll just show you what I'm doing here. I'm just basically hitting it with my rotary sander. So here we go. You can see a little bit of it. There it is. Maybe I'll try to do it like this so you can see a bit more of it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. We've got the Dupli-Color Adhesion promoter ready to go, shaken up, and you're supposed to put on a few coats of this. I'm going to do it and flip them, do it and flip them, just because I didn't want to hang them right now. So we're in my garage, nothing special, and here we go. So as you can probably see, it goes on and dries almost immediately. So it's pretty fast. I'm going to flip this piece over and get the bottom side or back side of this. Put a little extra there on the spot here. I don't know if you can see that, where all the damage was, and I sanded a lot. So we're probably going to try to lay the paint there a little thicker to fill in some of the cracks. All right, it's paint time. I have my Krylon Fusion all-in-one. This is the satin finish black. And basically, you're supposed to do coats, even light coats, 1 minute apart. So I'm going to do all one side. By the time I finish, I'll be ready to flip it. I'll do the other side again, and I'll go back and forth few times and we'll try to get this all done. I won't, I'll record it all, maybe fast forward through it all so you can see it going on, but should be pretty easy. And then after that, we let it dry and we'll do the clear coat. Here we go. Okay, so here is my makeshift setup to get these things off the table or off the canvas, and that way I can give them one last coat, kind of all around. I'm less worried about the bottom because that part you don't see. So from about here up, and on these ones from about here over, you're going to see a lot more. So that's what I'm going to spend a lot more time on. So I'm going to give them one last shot, and hopefully they'll dry. Still some blotchy spots on it, but I mean, overall, it looks pretty good, but it's still a little blotchy. So hopefully this last coat, and then I'm going to walk away and let it dry for a while. Here we go. Okay, so it's been a few hours, and the paint has dried mostly, and these ones came out pretty well, and they still have to dry a bit more. This one, unfortunately, is pretty splotchy, and I don't love it. So I'm going to take a bit of a, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm going to try this. I'm going to take some 1500 sandpaper. I'm going to lightly sand it, and then I'm going to give it another couple coats. Well, I'm going to clean it and then give it another couple coats. So I'm hoping that that'll produce a more even finish. My theory, because right here it gets kind of shiny and then dull, shiny and dull. My theory is that where I sand it more or less, because I really sanded a lot here, it's having quite an effect on how this paint is drying. So I'm going to try that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we are done with the black. I think that's as smooth as it's going to get. Hopefully when it is all done, it will be, I think it's okay. So it's only been about 20 minutes since I did that last coat, and I'm going to put the clear coat on, which is this stuff, the Dupli-Color acrylic enamel clear coat, and we are going to, let's see how that, yeah. All right, so this is supposed to be 2 thin coats and then 1 thicker coat. So we'll try to do that. And again, I'm going to concentrate mostly on the sides and top. I am going to hit the bottom, but not as much. So here we go. Okay, good news. This is about 20 minutes, a half hour after the first light coat of clear coat, and I have to say all the kind of blotchiness seems to be really reduced, if not gone altogether. So I am going to shake this up and give the second light coat, and then we're going to go for the third heavy coat about 20 minutes after that. and then we just let it dry and see how it looks in the morning. So here we go. Okay, so here's the last walk around, fully reinstalled, actually 99% of the end caps, painted. So they turned out great. I'm not sure how well they'll last, but they look good. They really did. Now, never mind the rest of the skis are just not clean yet, but that's that one. Turned out really well. The one thing that I forgot to do is to put these caps back in. I'm not sure how hard that is. Anyway, got to put the caps back on. But here's a shot of there's the after. So you can still see where some of the scratches were, but you know, I'll flash up a before shot and you will be amazed at how well this turned out. But you know what? It really did turn out pretty well. There's the other side, and here's this side that was pretty beat up, and imagine that the little cover is back on there. And then I finished polishing this rub rail with the BRP Back to Black Restorer stuff. And if you saw in another video, I colored in all of these mega scratches with a Sharpie and then polished them. And it's like they're not even there. Like, truthfully, unless you're looking for it, you don't really see it. And then same with the front here. There we go. That was really bad. In fact, I'll show you the other side because I haven't done the other side yet. And now you can see where I stopped right there in the middle. And you can see the scratches. This is what the other side looked like before I just shaved them off with an X-Acto knife and then polished them with the BRP stuff. So this nose cone, I was really thinking about painting, but now I don't really care because I think it came out pretty good without, you know, the painting, taking this off, painting it and putting it back on. Huge amount of work. Painting this rub rail, gigantic amount of work. So given that I got it to look pretty good, I'm going to be happy with that. Still lots of work to do on this machine polishing and a bunch of other things, and there's tons of plastic that needs to be worked on. But I mean, overall, it's going to look amazing when it's done. But today's mission, which was to get these back on and get them all settled, mission accomplished. We got a million bees buzzing around here. I'm telling you, they don't know where they're going, coming or going. Anyhow, that is the end of that job. So I guess I'll do a little recap mid-summer to let you know how those have held up. But there they are. Huge improvement. Really happy with the way that turned out. And again, total cost for this one and these two, this one and that one, $60 Canadian. So as you know, that's like $5 US. Just kidding. But it's a lot less US, maybe $40 US. So really good.